presented with those opportunities day by day, moment by moment. I've known most of you on this council right now, biggest part of my life, and have a connection with some of you over the years. And I thank you that you are willing to serve, and I, along with you, want to make our community proud with our service as elected leaders. My experiences since taking office and this past October, I realized the value of communication with all of the council members before a meeting. We are tasked with some difficult decisions. Some of them are easy and straightforward, and then some other decisions require a lot of research and thinking through all the possible outcomes. We've heard it from so many people all of our lives that you just stick with your gut feeling, and there's so much truth to that right there. Everything we say and we do, the things we put into writing, especially on social media, all of it is always criticized. People are watching, and we want them to be proud of what they see and hear. For most of my life, this town has somewhat been at a standstill. It hasn't changed for many years. And I always attended these meetings in high school and college, and the attendance that we have right now is far different than what it used to be. Used to, we could sit around this table right here and share a meal and not need to pull up a chair. Before the Duke relicensing and all of the projects related to that, there was just nothing for a long time. I believe that recreation has a place in our town's future, yet businesses and jobs, that's what we're lacking. It will take time. Developers and investors for properties had interest a couple of years ago, but it seems that a lot of that has diminished recently. The news articles and social media through all of 2025 was detrimental to our town's image. It really disappoints me because I know that's not what defines the hometown that we've known for so long. This December was tough. Past December, it was tough on all of you. But I do believe there was a lot of learning experiences through that, and we will move forward better than we were. I want to encourage all of you that the Chester County Council, the department heads in Chester County, and our county administrator, Brian Hester, all of us value the Great Falls area, and we are fully aware of its potential. Every conversation that I have is positive, and we have its best interest in mind. Great Falls has been a powerhouse in the past, and with good decisions, the attraction of businesses, and positive growth, working together with a unified vision for doing our best, we can be proud of the hometown that we love. I want us to be viewed as a place to locate because we have our act together, a place to prosper and have a good future. I want you to know that I am open to communicating with you and working together with you on the things that we do through our county and municipality relationship. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy.
Brian McGrath, concerns council.
Good evening, council, and good evening, people of Great Falls. In front of you, you should have two packages from me. One's from a CF letterhead, that's on the read tonight. The other one's about perception, reputation, and the future of Great Falls. With what Roy's touched on this evening, I sure don't need to really touch on that, I don't believe, but I would encourage you to read it and take it to heart if you would, and consider the information on that piece. With that, I'm going to speak tonight about a proposed volunteer cleanup of town-owned facades. And I'm going to read so that, I know y'all have it in front of you, but I'm going to read this so that people of Great Falls can hear it as well. Dear Mayor and Town Council members, Great Falls Forward Together exists to unite and empower our community through open communication and collaborative action. A copy of our mission, vision, and core values is attached behind that letter for your reference. Today, we're focusing on our first core value, which is solution-oriented action. I think we all agree that one important precursor to revitalization of our town is the cleanup of nuisance properties. I mean, just think about the first impression we have as we drive into town and we drive through downtown. Before the town begins identifying and issuing notices to property owners, which I'm sure will eventually happen, we respectfully suggest that the town consider addressing the appearance of at least some of the town-owned properties, such that the town's walking the walk, if you will. We believe a good place to begin is downtown Dearborn Street because it's highly visible. Any visitor that comes, drives down here, they might see it. The town owns 4 adjacent properties along the historic facade, just right down the street on the other side. Now, the addresses are 635, 637, 641, and 643 Dearborn Street. Great Falls 4 together met just a couple weeks ago. We're willing to facilitate and participate in a volunteer effort to improve the appearance of these 4 facades, focusing on what's visible from the street. In other words, the trees that are growing through where there's not a roof, so on and so forth, right up to the facade and the sidewalk. We believe that if an organized effort such as this is supported, community members will unify and be willing to participate in whatever way they can. A shared achievable goal, improving even a small portion of one street, can have a ripple effect. Much like a spark can light a fire, this effort may encourage other property owners to take similar action. The result would be improved community morale and pride. It would also send a visible signal to visitors and potential investors that we're actively working on improving Great Falls. We're hopeful you'll be supportive of this concept. We look forward to discussing what this effort would entail, what we may need from the town, and what the town would need from us to make this work. We'll be following up with y'all soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
That's Ms. Farwell. Councilmember Craig is gonna read a letter for her, for Great Falls Youth Sports.
So first of all, it says, good evening. First, I'd like to start by saying my name is Miss Esther Lee, and I apologize for not being present tonight due to the Great Falls Youth Sport basketball game being scheduled this evening. I have served as the director of Great Falls Youth Sports for the past 10 years. Over the years, we have come to understand that Great Falls Youth Sports is not officially a part of the town of Great Falls. However, we proudly represent Great Falls everywhere we go. In the past, the town of Great Falls assisted Great Falls Youth Sports with trophies, as I was informed that this was the only support the town was able to provide. Approximately 2 years ago, we began experiencing difficulties regarding trophies and the use of the town faculties without payment. At this time, I am respectfully asking the town of Great Falls to reconsider assisting Great Falls Youth Sports with trophies once again. All of our children are residents of Great Falls and attend Great Falls Elementary School or Great Falls Middle School, and their parents are citizens and taxpayers of the town of Great Falls. Thank you for your time and your consideration. Respectfully, Miss Esther Squirrell. And I'd like to add my comments to that, if that's okay, Mayor. I witnessed when this started, when I first got on council, they started the rec department, which was a good thing for the town of Great Falls, to be able to offer more to the children. Well, with that being said, this outfit had already been in place for 8 years before we did that. And she had an opportunity to come together, but was afraid, from my understanding, she was afraid to do so because they had a recreation years prior to that was demolished, that they did away with, the council. So, and she picked up what David Miners did, which is the park's named after Dave Miners. He put a lot into that recreation, and she felt like she picked that up. When they did away with it, David Miners' family kept it going. She become part of that. When their children outgrew it, she kept it going. And she feels like if she was to become part of the town, the council comes and goes, that she could be putting herself in the same situation to what happened years prior to now. So with that being said, though, whatever reason that they can't come together, that's beyond me. But my concern is about the children. The children can't help, the adults can't get along. And I feel like as a town, I mean, we paid for trophies by an invoice to the company, not to Esther, not to no individual. We sent a check to pay for the trophies. I wish that we could consider continuing that.
Can we not do more?
She's not asking for more. She's asking that we continue what they were doing before, which was several $100s a year. It was less, I think around $800, a little less than $800 a year for trophies for those children. And if I can, and I'm not out of line, I'd like to make a motion that we continue that for the Great Falls Youth Sports.
Okay, we have a motion, can you get a second? Who second? Monica second, any discussion?
I got a statement, I think, more than a discussion. I agree we should pay for the trophies. I don't know, I've heard several sides why we've got a rec department and why Great Falls Youth Sports exists. I wanted to reflect in the minutes that we as adults need to be examples to these children that we're providing these trophies for, that we need to get along as adults. A member of the community actually come to me before the meeting and made that very statement, and I echo those remarks. We do need to support them. With that being said, I think they are a nonprofit, correct?
Yes, sir.
We have codes, ordinances in place. One of the things that I fought for, a lot of people think I'm against the Fly Fly Fish Festival, and I'm not. I'm for doing what's right by the ordinances that's in place. If they are a nonprofit, they need to follow the ordinances, whether we write them a check for the trophies or not, ordinance need to be followed.
Yeah, and I don't think they have a problem with that. She has provided her paperwork to the town. When we
Yeah.
was going through all that, her outfit's right.
I definitely support us funding the trophies.
Okay, so we have a motion, we have a second, all in favor? Everyone's in favor?
Thank y'all.
Ayes, carried. Reports on Department, Public Works, Buddy Bigham,
Good evening, everybody.
good evening.
Public Works is running okay. Right now, we did have a problem with the shipping truck. Off and on this month, we've had to replace a starter and a water pump, and it just had to go get a package for it. Other than that, everything's been running as smooth as it can be. We're trying to make sure everybody gets caught up on leaves and limbs and stuff, but it's kind of hard when you got the truck. So, we did get it fixed, or we think we got it fixed today, so we'll find out tomorrow. But other than that, everything's running pretty smooth.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Bud, I'm gonna tell you, I think I've told you this, behind the scenes, but I'm gonna tell you something. I think the step up that you've done in leadership, taking the role, town looks good. I appreciate your work and your leadership.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Wastewater, Warren Skinner.
Good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing this evening? That's good. We had several projects going on at the plant here since the end of the year. We done got a bunch of stuff painted, trying to get a couple more things painted if possible. Everything's going good right now. As far as the plant wise, everything's running good. Project out here coming from Adventure World, moving right along. They done hit some rock down out there, thinking they might have to do some blasting, but maybe 600 to 700 more feet, they'll be through with it. We still in need of a service truck, which I've been talking to some guys at United Contractors, got a couple used trucks up there. One's kinda like what we need. They got a couple small trucks, I don't know if maybe we might be able to get one of those too, just so we'll have two small trucks.
Was you able to get any prices on them?
I've been trying to get the prices on them, Tiffany, but the guys is they busy right now, they're moving a bunch of stuff around on different jobs, and I don't know if that's part of the problem, or if they taking vacation, the guys that I talked to, or what's going on right there, but I've been talking with Dave about it, off and on, and he's trying to help me out a little bit with as far as getting some pricing and just the waiting process on that. But if they could let us get one of those trucks, it'd be a big help for the town, because I believe we could get a fair price on it, and it's got the tools on it that we need already, so. But everything seems to be going good. Anything, y'all wanna ask any questions, or?
I'd like for you to share with them the problem that you ran into, if you don't mind, on Circle Street, that you were able to save the town thousands of dollars by making a decision to try to fix it yourself.
We've been having some trouble over there, and it all comes back to just a terracotta pipe. And all the terracotta in Great Falls really needs to be replaced, but it's just a process that you've got to, we don't have the money really to do it, to be honest. The town don't really have the money, but as far as getting grants and all, just so we can do it, so.
But you were able to get the problem fixed, right?
Yes, ma'am. I got a couple quotes on it, and I was like, I priced the parts out to get it fixed, and I think wind up saving close to $20,000 on it.
That was awesome, Bubba.
Thank you.
Well, that's the truck, man. I think Tiffany should make a motion.
But, yeah, thanks for Mike not quitting on me over there, because we was catching it over there. We was over there for 3 days, but we got it took care of, and, hopefully it lasts as long as I do. I don't know how long that's gonna be. Anybody else got any questions?
Thank you, Wayne.
Y'all have any?
Thank you.
Thank
Y'all
you.
have a good evening.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have a suggestion. I think all the departments across the board, including the police department, and it's my experience in working with Chris Shute in doing the maintenance for the vehicles, and Buddy knows this, and Bubba knows this, in an attempt to develop our own maintenance department that kind of fell through a little bit. But in addition to that, I learned a lot. But all of these departments are in desperate need of vehicles, especially the Public Works Department. That chipper truck and that dump truck are falling apart. They don't even have a front seat to sit comfortably for them to do their work, okay? And at this point, the maintenance is ongoing and consistently, which is costing the town an incredible amount of money. So I think it would be in our best interest to evaluate, the kind of equipment that we need in each and every department. And this way we can come up with an overall assessment and a total cost estimate, including the police department. Because your trucks are averaging thousands of miles. So I would suggest we do that, and I'd be interested in working with the mayor and council to try to figure out what the cost estimates would be, and if it's necessary to purchase some of these equipment.
Okay. Police department? Chief Parker?
That was awesome. So, and next week, all the council members, because I don't do politics, but I know y'all got rules, I can't talk y'all together, and more 4 people get together, be quite fit. Next week, I'll send a proposal out to y'all for vehicles. So now I at least know you got your support.
Good.
And I have talked to it, and I've done some research. There's 3 different ways we can go, and so I'm just gonna shoot everything out to you, get your questions, answer the questions through email, so we're not breaking no rules, and then we can get together here when we actually know what we're gonna do, or if we're gonna do anything. Law Track is our RMS, the records management system that law enforcement uses. Not everybody uses Law Track, but that's what Great Falls has used for many, many years. it was outdated 10 years ago, but now it is shutting down. March, it's gone. February 6th, there is a conference in Columbia I'll be attending where all the vendors will be there, that can and replace Law Track, but it is gonna be a cost. And it's a cost that we can't say no to, I guess, or we can just shut this part down, not do records, either one. It's not anybody here's fault, or probably the last 2 or 3 chiefs, it should have been replaced probably 10 years ago, but it's just come up, and it was a system that was working. It just, once it was sold to Arms, they stopped updating it. So people started getting rid of it, and now enough has gotten rid of it that they're just gonna shut it down. So we are gonna have to replace it. We got 2 in the academy. They have started, they're down there. They're at the end of their first week. Everything went fine the first week. So 7 more weeks. Spoke to the mayor earlier today. We're gonna pick up a part-time guy. Nothing permanent really. He's actually just transitioning to another job in reality. But he can help us out for probably about 6 months, filling some gaps. And he'll be cheap because he ain't coming to, we're just gonna pay him part-time money. And he's a lot of years experience. He's state constable now. He's actually waiting on a job to open upper state. But he's gonna fill in for us here, so. New uniforms, you like them? I did. That's it.
Thank you, Parker.
Old business, Great Falls Planning Commission resolution, Councilmember Gonzalez.
Yeah, it's been almost 14 months I've been dealing with this, and basically, in my communication with various people in the community and people in Chester County, the Building and Zoning Commission. So basically, we're at a crossroads right now, and it's critically important that we establish some programmatic solutions to the problems that we're having in this town. Right now, there is some construction going on, there's some ordinance, there's some new projects that are taking place, like I think it's the Dollar Tree right there on 27th.
200, on 200 up there.
200 is it? Yeah, that turns into 200. And that's already taken off and it's off the ground. So
That's
I'm
the
requesting
county.
right now with this resolution that that Chester County that we authorize Chester County Planning Commission to serve as the official planning commission for the town of Great Falls. That doesn't necessarily mean that we aren't involved in the zoning procedures, okay? What it does mean is that they take over the intake, the staff review, coordination, scheduling, and record keeping. So the town of Great Falls, while the town of Great Falls can draft an intergovernmental agreement for the purpose of establishing the Chester County Planning Commission as the official planning commission for the town of Great Falls, to be reviewed, amended, whereby necessary and adopted by Chester County. So I'm asking right now that the mayor and council of Great Falls, during this meeting, January 22nd, hereby formally adopt all necessary changes related to zoning, oversight of the town of Great Falls. This action is taken in furtherance of the transition of planning and zoning responsibilities of Chester County, include full administrative handling by the county, and to ensure proper supervision and execution of zoning matters within the municipal boundaries of Great Falls, South Carolina, by the Chester County Planning Commission, subject to approval through the required first and second reading by respective governing bodies. So, you know, at these crossroads, it may be necessary, and I find it's necessary, and even my discussions with people in Chester County, they would be willing to work with us, and we can also serve as part of the oversight, okay? So I'm asking council right now to consider this resolution on this day.
Okay. My only thing, have Joni seen that resolution?
Yes, she did.
She did?
Joni has seen it, representatives in the Building and Zoning Department of Chester County. Brian Hester made some suggestions. Jeremy Ward made some suggestions. So I made a thorough outreach to the various people that would contribute these suggestions that would help us move forward with, just working together with Chester County. And this would be a good opportunity for us to network with you guys and make sure that these things get done. Because at this point, it's been more than a year. I've been dealing with this, and historically, nothing's really, in other administrations, in the previous 2 administrations, this commission never got off the ground. It never functioned, it never established itself, and the trainings weren't completed as required by Chester County. So at this juncture, let's make a change. I'm making a motion that we accept this resolution.
I'll second.
In discussion?
Yes. Mr. Gonzalez, I know you and I have not agreed on a lot of stuff, but I actually agree with you on this, sir.
That's fine.
With some amendments. I think that there is a need for building and zoning, and all the ones that you put forward before, I've never disagreed with them. They always had to have a zoning board of appeals to go with it, and that never accompanied it. That's why I was never in favor for it. However, looking over this in theory looks good. What the big caveat that's missing, you mentioned in the resolution that the intergovernment agreement. If this was drafted in its entirety, that agreement should be attached to it, because there's ways that we can benefit from Chester County having control over this. We can also set a fee rate. They get, if $100 was collected, we collect 25% of that $100, and that all could be spelled out in that IGA. Again, I think there's a great world where this will exist, but I personally would like to see this table until the IGA is in place with it, where we can move forward as a whole. As it stands now, if we give complete control to Chester County as a whole has never historically looked out for Great Falls. We've kind of been the redheaded stepchild. And I think a lot of citizens of Great Falls will agree to that. But I like this as a whole in theory. I think if we had the IGA to go along with it, literally listing the specifics, how are we going to be involved, how's Great Falls going to have oversight, what kind of say we're going to have, is there money that we can collect? Because if Chester County can have, again, they collect $100 and we take 25 of it by doing nothing, that's a win for us. So if I may, I would like to table this until we get an IGA, and I will be glad to work with you on getting the IGA drafted. Matter of fact, I have one in my notebook where I drafted as a sample that I'll be glad to share with you after council. But I'll make a motion to table this until we get the IGA in place.
Well, the way this is written, we're just asking Chester County, and Chester County will present it to their council as something that Chester County would consider doing. Okay, so once they agree to working and being the oversight and taking responsibility for the zoning in Great Falls, the administrative functions associated with planning and zoning oversight, then we'll be able to have those conversations with Chester County Building and Zoning as to what that intergovernmental relationship would be like. Because right now, we don't know what that's going to be like.
And
Okay, that would include them. We need to include them. We need to start working with them. We need to tear down those barriers, those walls between Great Falls and Chester County, and we need to be able to resolve a lot of these issues because things are going to move forward. And there's going to be some development happening in this town and we need to be able to function under those pretenses.
I agree 100%. But
Has our attorney looked over this? I presume?
Yes.
That's my only thing, 'cause I hadn't
She
talked
looked
to
it
her.
over.
It sounds like Willie did.
Yeah, she looked it over and she found it sound. I mean, she thought,
You just want to discuss, you want to vote to go into a discussion with the county to do this, because the county hadn't approved it at this point, is that what I'm hearing?
correct.
So you just want the motion to go into a discussion with them, and then
No,
it'll,
we want to have Chester County agree with taking responsibility for the planning commission.
how
To
can
serve as the official planning commission for the town of Great Falls. We cannot waste any more time. This has been going, I done my research back to 2023, this has never functioned in two previous administrations. This is the third administration that I understand that it has never functioned. So we're looking back at 8, 10 years now. Okay, we need to stop this, okay? We need to be able to cross, go ahead.
I'll second your table.
I agree, Mr. Gonzalez, that this is needed, but again, how can Chester County vote on something, and why should we allow them to vote on something that, with the IGA not in place, I mean, it's leaving a lot for us to be open to. We're very susceptible to a lot of things. Again, if this was brought back to the table with an accompanying IGA to be presented to Chester County, for them to say, yes, this looks good, well, absolutely, let's move
Well, let
forward.
me ask you a question. Who would be involved in that discussion with the intergovernmental agreement?
Let's work together, Mr. Gonzalez.
Who else would be part of that discussion? Chester County would be part of the discussion.
Absolutely.
Okay, Mr. Brunson would be part of that discussion.
Absolutely.
So at this point, let's get past the fact that, you know, we haven't been successful. We'll get Chester County to agree to and authorize to be the planning commission for the town of Great Falls, and then it work, that's what this is worded. The way it's worded, that the intergovernmental agreement for the purposes of establishing Chester County Commission as an official planning commission is to be reviewed, amended, and necessary. So that is work in progress.
Okay.
So I make a motion to again to table it.
Okay, you made a motion to table it.
I second that motion. So I would like to learn more about it before moving forward. I think you should give it to the county if the county's willing to do it, but it doesn't look like and appear to be all, I need to understand it more before I move forward.
Oh, believe me, this is a sound resolution.
I
It's
believe
been
it, I believe
reviewed.
it is. I just wanted to hear a little bit more, but I really do believe that you worked very hard on that. And I really do. I mean, I'm not saying that you haven't. I just want to hear Joni tell me, and that's just how I am. I just want to hear it with my own ears that, okay, I've read this and this is good and we can move forward.
She can share her
I really
thoughts.
do believe that you work hard
Yeah,
on it.
I agree. I mean, I want to see
I
this.
just want to
I'll
make
be
sure
glad
that
to
we
work
make
with
the
you on
right,
it.
you know, just make the right decision, that's all. I'm not saying you did it, I do believe you worked hard
And
on
we
it.
should
your
have
best
to
decision.
share it,
Okay.
explain it all to everybody.
Right, so, we got a motion to table this. Any more discussion? All in favor?